Now that I have my essay in MLA format, the last thing that I need to do is create a Works Cited page. So every time that you use a parenthetical citation, what that's actually doing is it's telling people which MLA citation that they should scroll down and look at the end of your essay if they want to find out like exactly where you got that from. So hopefully, I think that most of your essays will probably be on just 2 pages. So if that's you, just hit enter, just like I did, until it scrolls down to a 3rd page. If your essay was on the 3rd page, then you hit enter until it goes down to the 4th page. But whatever page you're on, it should be a page all by itself. And the only thing that you should have at this point is just that header from where you set that up. On the very first line, you need to hit center, and you're going to type Works Cited. And you need to capitalize both of those things. We've gone over the different parts of an MLA citation, but it would probably be a good idea if you went back to your essay outline and you went to the section that says MLA citations, fill in the blanks, and you copied this, because this is the format that you use whenever you are using an online article. So I'm going to go back here. I hit enter and backspace to move the cursor over. And then I'm going to copy and paste that to be able to reference it as I'm creating my Works Cited entries. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter to start the first one. And I've got all of my sources up here at the top. And so I need to cite each one of those. If it's available, you start with the last name and first name. If that author isn't listed, then you skip that part and just start with the article title. So for this one, I'm just going to start with, well, I guess I should start, since Walt Disney is the author of all of these, I should go Disney, Walt, and then I'm going to do the article title, which is Walt Disney Quotes right here. And since it's an article title, I used title capitalization and I put it in quotation marks. The name of the website is Brainy Quote, and that is, it looks like that's one word. Then I do a comma, unitalicize, and then I'm going to see if I can find the date updated. Some websites have this, some websites don't. A lot of times it's at the bottom, if there is one, but I am not seeing one. So I'm going to skip that part of my citation. And the next part is the URL. So I get that by highlighting all of that. And then I'm going to cut and paste. And if I put a comma and then hit the space bar, it should turn blue. Yep. And then I type out the word accessed. And I put the date that I accessed it. And if you're not sure the exact date you accessed it, just put today's date. So I'm going to put April 30th, 2018. And again, I don't know exactly why MLA wants us to write the dates this way, but the current edition of MLA wants you to do an abbreviated form of the month with a period, the date, no comma, and then the year, and then you just do a period. Okay, so there's our first one. I'm going to exit out of that. Second one is one that lots of you used from biography.com. So this one didn't have an article title, or it didn't have an author, but it did have an article title. So we're going to start with that. The date updated is at the bottom of all of these. So I scroll down, and it was last updated on August 7th, 2017. Okay, and now I'm going to take the URL just like last time. The formatting is looking a little weird, but we're going to go back and fix that later. And then I'm going to keep my access date as April 30th, 2018. The reason that this is on the second on the second line here is because this URL is too long to fit on the rest of this line. So even though that looks weird, that's actually the way that it's supposed to be. Done with that. Next one was the Ryan Lambie article. So I'm going to start with his last name, comma, first name, and then this is called Disney's Snow White. And even though it is a long title, I need to type out the whole thing. The risk that changed filmmaking forever. Okay, put a period, close my quotation, and this website was Den of Geek, comma. Date updated would be November 25th, 2014. URL. Comma, accessed April 30th, 2018. Okay. Two more. This one is from David Sims. Period. And then I do the article title in quotation marks. The Jungle Book points toward a CGI future. And I want to keep those italics. The book points toward a CGI future. Okay. And this is from The Atlantic. And I got that by looking right up here. That's a magazine. The date that it was published was April 18th, 2016. 2016. Now I take the URL. And a comma. And accessed April 30th, 2018. And final one. Okay. This one was written, I think this is the Wills article. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Yes. So sometimes it doesn't have the author's last name at the top of the article, but it might have it at the bottom. So his name is Wills. First name is John. And I need to type this really long essay title. Disney History. And even though it's not capitalized here, I'm going to go ahead and do title capitalization. How has the corporation shaped our perception of the past? Okay. And since the article title ends in a question mark, I'm not going to do a period here because the question mark is kind of serving as that end punctuation there. The next thing I need is the name of the website that I got it from, and that is History Extra. Comma, the date that it was published is May 16th, 2016. The URL. And the access date. Okay, so I have all of my works cited entries here. So I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need that anymore. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in alphabetical order. So D is first, then L. So I'm going to copy and paste. Well, actually, it'll be faster if I cut and paste. L, I think S, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S. Sims. Then I have two W's, so the WA comes first, so I'm going to keep them in this order. And it's possible that yours don't have this hanging indent here, which means that the second and third and fourth line are the ones that are indented, so it's kind of like a reverse indent. So I'm going to reset this and show you how I got that hanging indent. So if yours looks like this, that's completely fine. But the way to get the hanging indent is to highlight from your first entry all the way to the bottom. And then you're going to move that tiny little triangle over 1/2 inch to the right. So you want to wait to drop it until it says 0.50. And that moves all of every line over. So before you undo the highlight there, you take the rectangle and you move it back to where you got it from until it says 0.00. And that's the hanging indent. The last thing I want to do is make it double spaced. And since you already know how to do that, just go to this and double. And that is how to do the works cited page.